The dogs are super excited to go to work with us today. They love riding the Polaris Ranger and they love playing in the woods.
Hey guys, welcome back to Ouch Mountain. So we were driving up our road this morning and this is what we found. This great big tree that had uprooted off the bank on that side, and from where I'm standing it's probably 50 to 60 feet long that way, and it goes over to the top of this bank and it's another 30 to 50 feet to the top of the tree up there. So it's a great big tree. We think this is probably a basswood tree. We're not sure about that. We'll show y'all some leaves and the bark. Send us some comments about what you think this tree is, because we'd love to know. But based on our research today, this is what we found. But tonight, before it gets dark, we had to run some errands today. We got really busy doing some other things. But before it gets dark tonight, we're going to try to cut the tree, maybe get the road cleared, but also get some of this brush off the bank and clear it out of here. And we'll see what we can do. If we can't finish tonight, we'll come back in the morning and get it done. So let's get started.
Jason is trying to not fall in the creek. It's right there just in front of his right foot. My daddy had a degree in forestry, so he was always taking us to the woods. We would go on long Sunday afternoon hikes after church, and he would spend time teaching us about the different kinds of trees, their bark, their leaves, the nuts they produced, and the different types of pine needles. Sunday afternoons were always full of lessons, but I don't ever remember him talking about a basswood tree. And that may not be what this tree is. When we first rolled up on it this morning, I really thought it was an oak tree, and then Jason pointed out to me the leaves, and I thought, well, I have never seen leaves like that on an oak tree. So we did a little checking into it, and that's where we came up with a basswood tree. If you have any thoughts on this, drop us a note in the comments. We'd love to hear what you have to say. It is times like this that we are glad we have the grapple. It is so handy to have to pick up these big heavy logs and move them around. Jason's trying to get this one untangled. It's trying to stay attached to those other pieces that are still on the bank. There is so much brush in this tree, and this is just the beginning of it. We're going to load these poles up. Not really sure what we're going to do with them. May use them for some firewood, but may turn them into something else. Just not sure yet. But we've got to get them out of here. This log was being a little bit stubborn. It really just didn't want to get in the grapple. Now for a little bigger limb. This one is like a small tree itself. Watch where you're going. The best idea we had for getting these tree limbs down was to chain them and then chain them off to the grapple. The other thought on that was to be able to kind of lift them up off the ground and not be dragging them so much on that slope. Some of y'all may remember we had a big slide here, I don't know, probably about a year or so ago. We had a huge tree come down from the side where these limbs are today. We had a huge tree. The root ball was probably the size of an automobile, and all of that ended up in the middle of the road. And so this bank is a little bit unstable, so we want to keep as much weight off of the bank as possible. Like I said before, there is going to be so much brush cleanup with this tree. I definitely think we probably need a wood chipper. We could make wood chip paths from here to the moon. And we're just going to load these poles up. We haven't decided yet if some are going to be firewood or not. Not really sure it's going to burn great, but we're going to load them up as poles for now and figure out what we're going to do with them later. gotten a lot of the brush. We still got that up in the top, but it's a whole lot better. So we about got it done. We got the tree cut out of the way, and the road is pretty much opened up. We got a little more work to do tomorrow, and then we'll be good to go. So funny thing, last thing I said to Jason was, we don't need to cut this so this goes in the creek and stops it up. And where did it go? We cut it just perfect in the middle of the creek. That is about the way our luck goes. I think we'll come back tomorrow and cut a little bit more on this one, because we've got a little bit to finish up on this other side.
So last night we talked to an expert on this tree, and he confirmed what we already thought, that this is probably a basswood tree. And if you know some good uses for basswood, let us know. Drop us a note in the comments. I know it's not really good for firewood. It doesn't really burn hot. Burns up really quick, kind of like paper basically. So if there's some really good uses, maybe like carving or some commercial uses we could sell it for, let us know. Drop us a note in the comments. All right, so this morning it was raining, so we didn't get out very early. But the rain has stopped. It looks a little clearer now. It's kind of mid-morning. We're going to try to clean up and finish the job we started last night. We got a lot done. We got the road cleared, but we still got this great big branch off the tree that's laying on the bank. We need to get it off and clear up any brush up there. And then we need to finish with this log. We probably have 30 to 40 feet left on this log. I'm not sure what it'll be useful for, but we're going to try to cut it into 8 and 10 foot sections. Probably take it to the sawmill, get some use out of it, we think, but we'll get started today.
Jason said the tree was very easy to cut with a chainsaw, and honestly, the pieces of wood were not as heavy as you would think they would be for their size. So we set some of these smaller poles aside, and we decided we just cut those up, haul them home in the Polaris Ranger, and get those out of the way and not have to haul them on the tractor. I think we're finally down to the last limb on this tree. I think this is the last one on the bank. It's really kind of hard to tell up there with all the leaves and everything tangled up, but I do think this is the last one, so let's get it down and get it cut up and out of the way so we can continue with the rest of the tree. There's not a lot of room to maneuver over here. The creek is right here, and that log is kind of in our way too. So Jason had to do a little fancy driving to get around that. Now for the rest of it. And I hope he still remembers that the creek is over there. We don't really want to be pulling a tractor out of the creek today. That's a negative.
Pretty slick.
At least he didn't land on his bottom in the creek, and he held onto the chainsaw, so I guess that's a win. I'm not sure, but I'm guessing that the diameter of this tree is probably about 16 to 18 inches, and the bar on that chainsaw is probably about a 16-inch bar, so that chainsaw is getting all it wants of that tree. So, which side do you think you're going to cut it from? Okay. I don't think it will either. You've got an escape route? Okay. This tree is still about 4 to 5 feet off the ground. I know it doesn't really look that way from this footage, but it's about 4 to 5 feet off the ground, and so we aren't real sure what that root ball is going to do when this log drops. Just got to keep our eyes watching it and our feet ready to run.
Maybe holding on the very far side just a little bit.
Okay.
But I can't, my saw won't quite reach.
You gonna come around to this side and finish it off?
Yeah.
The ground is very, very rocky and very uneven over there. Very hard to walk. Doesn't look that way with all the lush green grown up, but it is difficult to get through there.
Yeah, I wasn't holding by much.
No, it wasn't. I'm glad it's on the ground. So Jason has gotten that tree cut into these two pieces. Now we've just got to get them across the creek and out of there. Job well done.
So right through here where this tree fell is a narrow little pass on our driveway. We have a really steep slope on one side and the creek on the other side, so it's really narrow, a little bit treacherous. We're always having problems here. We've had lots of trees fall in this area off this steep slope. We've had a big mudslide, we've had a little mudslide. We've had lots of things going on here. We were able to get the tractor in here, which is kind of tough because it's really narrow, but we were able to get it in and out and get the tree up and get the brush cleared out of the way and get the road opened again. So we're glad to have that done. But if you like watching our content, click the subscribe button, smash the like button, send us some comments, and share it with a friend. And we'll see you next time on Ouch Mountain.